Get started, sister.
This is in control of this one.
Oh, you did. Get it.
Guys, it's my meeting. Are you sure? Are you serious? Okay, I have some notes. Okay, guys, so today is May 16th. We are the women of FWA. We have several things on the schedule we wanted to talk about today. The first thing on our schedule, we have I'm not sure why Tiffany couldn't log on, but Tiffany came up with a great idea to do sort of like an online icebreaker happy hour, virtual happy hour that's happening on June 22nd. I think we had agreed on the time. Susan, remind me again, 3 p.m. Pacific time.
4 Mountain, 5 Central, 6 Eastern.
Yes. And that's also going to come with some icebreaker sessions, and then just happy hour time for us to all to kind of get to know each other, what we're up to, how our projects are going, and some there's also going to be some prizes. I heard some Starbucks gift cards that we're going to be thrown in there. She's also going to come up with a little bit of a women's FWA music playlist that she's going to put together. That's what I have set for June 22nd, guys. We're starting at 3 p.m.
Yes, we'll have an ad in the Fence magazine, and I'll have it posted on all the sites as well as on the website, womenfwa.com. Melissa's making that ad right now.
Okay. Will that be going out as kind of on an email format to all the members as well?
Yes.
Okay. So look out for that. Keep an eye out in your emails for that. The next thing we wanted to go over was the Tuesday lives or Q&As that we have scheduled. I want to say that 5/21, is that next week?
Yes.
So that one, it's kind of up in the air at the moment. We reached out to a couple of people on mod rates. If you have any experience, or if you have any knowledge, or if you want to jump on and talk about a little bit about mod rates with us on 5/21, that's kind of what we have going on for this date. I reached out to our workers' comp safety director to see if they can come out and just kind of give us a little brief overview of what mod rates are, how it affects your business, how it's calculated, and, a little bit about mod rates. For 5/28, we have working with your spouse. If Michaela and Dalton can make it, I know that Brian and I have already kind of put it on our schedule. And then I think we were going to invite Monica and her spouse. If there's anybody else who wants to join us, I know Monica is working with her future spouse.
Yeah, he might be. What time is it at?
We go live at 5:30 Central.
Okay.
But we meet at 5, and it's only about 30 minutes.
That's on the 28th.
The 28th, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I'll talk to him and see if he's available for that.
Okay. Perfect. Anna, what's your spouse's name?
EJ Verhey.
EJ. Okay. Perfect. So we'll touch base on that for 5/28. It would be awesome if we could get 3 or 4 couples and it's just brief. It's very brief. We go over maybe 3 or 4 questions, very casual. For 6-4, we have tentatively on schedule Josh Glover on commercial billing and federal and residential billing.
Bidding.
What's that?
Bidding.
Just bidding?
Yes.
Okay. We are looking for probably 1 or 2 other people to come on with him on that one. Veronica,
Yeah,
I figured you'd be a good.
When is that one?
That one's scheduled for 6-4.
Veronica could jump in and make him.
With my very own Josh Glover.
Yeah.
We're doing commercial and federal bidding.
That's correct. On 6-4.
Okay.
I'm sorry, y'all. I'm having tons of internet issues. I'm gonna have to do something about it.
You're good.
You look
On
beautiful.
on 6/11, we have another check-in with the women of FWA. I think that one was kind of really fun last time we did it.
Super fun. I think we got a lot of good feedback from that. A lot of interaction too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that's again open to anybody that wants to kind of jump in and chit chat about what's going on. That's all we have for the month of June. So if anybody has any other ideas, subjects, please feel free to reach out to Susan or myself or Veronica or any one of us to get them on the schedule. We also have a new Facebook page. I know that we can't go live on it yet because it's fairly new. I'm not sure how many members we have to get it up to, Susan. Do you know that? Or it's just a matter of time?
It's not just members, it's reels, it's stuff like that. So I cut up a bunch of reels today, and I'm gonna be releasing them like all weekend, next several days, just keeping those videos going.
She's frozen.
She's frozen. Okay, so essentially we have to continue to use our page in order to be able to go live from the new Facebook page we created, and that's open to both men and women, whereas the private women's group is only open to women.
I do want to real quick, Yadira, thank you for there was one in the private group for women of FWA. Somebody was posting in regards to the 811 locate tickets. I jumped on and commented. I did see that there was some other activity in there. So we encourage everybody to post, whether if you're posting on the page or in the private group. Please, you're more than free to ask questions. Sometimes, one of us will see it or the other ones won't. And then we're usually pretty good about tagging who we feel would be the best, people to jump in on the conversation. So thank you for that person that did the post, and felt comfortable. And then, everybody else that commented on it. That's what we're about.
Yeah. And sometimes I see it and I'm busy at the moment, but then somebody else responds. And then you're like, oh yeah, I was supposed to respond. So thank you for that.
Yeah, those are usually like, laying in the bathtub where I've locked my family out and I'm like, oh yeah, I can respond to this now.
Yeah. Excuse me. And the fourth thing I have is the mission statement. So Susan and I have kind of gone over what our mission statement is. We want to look it over, revamp it, and kind of change it a little bit. We would like for it more to just kind of be very simple and say, what was the whole thing? We educate, we network, we educate, something else. I don't think I have it written down, Susan. That's because I was supposed to do the meeting from the other office where it was right behind me, remember?
Right.
but I'm not there. We support, we network, we educate.
That's what it is.
I like it.
Yeah, just kind of keeping it simple. But we should kind of look at our mission statement. There was a few things in there that Susan and I kind of wanted to look it over.
It just didn't feel like us anymore. I'm wondering if maybe we should put it up in the private group and have some people comment and interact with it. You know.
In the women's only group?
Yes.
Okay.
So here's a question. Why don't we brainstorm a few different ideas in regards to this and have Michaela put them on her pretty little stuff, and then we can actually throw it out to a vote.
I like that.
Susan, you look like you're about to fall asleep, but I don't know if you're just frozen again.
Just
She's freezing left and right.
Freezing.
I mean, it's just an idea, or maybe, like start throwing out some things. Maybe we need to do a poll about, what do you think should be in our mission statement?
I think that's a good start.
And get some feedback.
Okay.
Because we can have a mission statement that's maybe more in depth, but we can also have a, what is the word I'm looking for? It's not a motto. That's short,
Vision, value.
that's short and sweet.
There's mission statement, vision statement, value statement, purpose statement.
Right. And not that we need to have one of all of it, of everything, but something that we can incorporate that's short and sweet, that is way easy to incorporate on everything, like our stickers and whatever else that we decide to throw out, our t-shirts, versus our full-on mission statement tells, what we're about. Why are we here? What are our goals? What are we after? Who are we supporting? Who are we here for?
Yeah.
When it first started, what was kind of the real motivation to get the group going?
It was to be able for the women in our industry to have the same networking opportunities and build the same relationships that the men do. We acknowledge that women communicate different than men, and we're cliquey. We stick to those who we stick to. And then, there's a lot of people in this industry that are way more, I guess, vocal in the forefront, and it comes off of those women are not approachable, or, won't take the time to sit down and answer questions, or, and in all reality, what we're finding are those are the ones that love to do it, that love to sit down and have these hard conversations and open up and talk to somebody that might be in the industry, a few months or a few years, versus those of us veterans. That makes me sound so old. That have been doing this for a long time, or, the ones that are doing more commercial versus residential, and those residential contractors that are trying to, take that step. So to make everybody more approachable, build that networking.
Yeah.
And the fact that a lot of us are so like-minded.
I'm sorry. When my husband and I went to the Mr. Fence Academy retreat, I was a little apprehensive because I started in our business. I took a break for a little bit, and then I was kind of trying to figure out where I was going to fill back in. And, Heather was one of the first people that I met, and she right off the bat made me feel very comfortable and like I belong. I have a place in the fence industry.
Absolutely.
And, we've been in the business for close to 9 years, and throughout that whole process, I've never really felt like I had a community behind me. And so it was kind of just, the not really feeling like I had a voice, not really feeling like I had a place in our company, but knew that our company needed certain things that I was very strong in communicating. And when we went to the retreat, it was not only for a personal growth aspect, but for our company too, to really feel like, right away, Heather made me feel like I had a voice, I had a purpose, and I think that kind of has been comfortable approaching this, because this is completely outside of my comfort zone to be in a meeting like this without my husband like forcing my hand to do it.
Yeah.
Right. I used to use the term all the time that I felt like I was on a deserted island all by myself.
Yeah.
I wasn't by myself because I had my team, but I didn't have other women that I could share my passion or that I could communicate with the same way that I did, and, be able to vent on certain struggles and certain things, or be able to go to and ask, questions, like, and I use this example, Michaela's mother-in-law, Lauren, they're getting into a project with us that requires certified payroll. It's nothing that they've ever done before. Lauren calls me about, I would probably say once a week, once every other week. She has questions, and, I'm all about it. But this group, that's what it is to be able to come together and share that. And the friendships that have actually come out of this that are outside of the fence world, I think has been more rewarding for me personally, to see, even if they're not my relationships and my friendships, we're seeing these things on the Facebook group that these women are connecting across the country, and they were in the area, and this person went this far and this person went this far, and they're hanging out having a drink together.
Yeah.
Was really encouraged Tiffany's idea on the ladies' night. This isn't just strictly fence industry talk. A lot of us have very similar personality, and it's nice to have that connection.
My husband and I, we left the retreat with personal phone numbers from complete strangers that we've constantly connected with since then, and sent text messages checking in on each other. And, from an aspect of where I was at, I didn't really even know that there were women that had similar experiences that I did in our company. And, I kind of always use the term our company, but it always felt kind of like my husband's company, because he runs all of the logistics of it, the guys, the crew, but then I was running the inside of it, making it operate.
Trust me, Anna, I feel the same way sometimes. I ask him, I'm like, I don't know what my position is here. I don't know what I'm doing here. I don't know. He's like, you're holding things together.
Yeah.
And the glue.
Felt like I was just up a role. It was like make believe career, and it was kind of a joke. And I'm like, okay, but I really am working hard, and I'm putting all together, and to have other women understand what that feels like was huge for me.
Yeah.
I'm kind of in a different situation. I am, I'm not married to the owners of SWI. To the outside world, a lot of people, I'm the sister of the Olsons, but I'm actually not related to them at all. And they're very, forefront in the industry, very out there, and everybody knows who they are. And so Mark really encouraged me to step up and step out and have a voice and to use it, because, a lot of women didn't even know where to start, or like you said, didn't even know there were resources. So it was him really encouraging me. I remember having a conversation with him. I said, I am really okay with being the voice on the phone and the person behind the keyboard. I'm really okay with this. And he's like, but you don't understand. There's other women out there that need your voice. They need you to get out there and show them, step out. And I was like, okay. And then Susan forced me. Susan does things. She tells us what to do. Or she'll get you after a few drinks and ask you a question. And
yeah, with be comfortable being uncomfortable.
Yes.
That's been something that has happened in the last month, where both my are like, this is not us. This is so uncomfortable, but we are growing, and we're growing in our business. And ultimately, that's kind of the whole purpose, is to build yourself and your company to its greatest level. So I think with, this group, I really do appreciate that it's here and available because, it definitely gives, like, my husband always told me that I was valuable in our business, but I don't think that I necessarily believed that I was. And so just knowing that there's kind of that aspect out there that I can hear it from somebody other than my
Yeah.
husband and believe it.
Yeah.
And it's different to hear it from women that are in the same position versus someone telling you, especially a spouse, or another family member that you're working with, them telling you, no, you're valued. But then when you get around like-minded people in similar situations and, that are kind of feeling the same way, that validation it hits different.
Yeah.
And it's not that what he's saying was wrong or the tone was wrong or the approach was wrong. It just hits different when it's somebody that you can relate to.
Yep.
And the amount of stories and we say stories, they're, people's path into this industry and their path into the positions that they're in right now. There is a lot of similarities.
Yeah.
As far as those of us that randomly ended up in the industry by accident. I know Susan's one of them. I know Melanie Goodwin is one of them.
Yeah.
And we just kind of stumbled across it and now it's our passion. But then there's also a lot of very similar stories about, their husband started this and at first they didn't want anything to do with it. And then all of a sudden their husband was asking them to do X, Y, and Z. And then, then more and more and more and more come into it. And there's two different paths here, but the stories are very similar regardless of what path you're on. There's women that can relate to that.
Right.
And it's nice. It's very refreshing to see how other people run their companies and how other people do things, in my opinion, because you're always, and same thing with us or with me, we've been used to doing things a certain way for so long, but realizing that there's a lot of different other ways, a lot of different software companies that you can use that will save you time and energy, and maybe your way is not the best way that's out there. It's really nice to see that from you guys. You guys have helped us in that sense a lot.
And I think that's one of the really cool things about this group, and all of us have really focused on this when we do the Facebook Lives, is to make sure that we're getting a couple different perspectives. I know I've said this 1,000 times in this industry, is point A and point Z are exactly the same. But how everybody gets to those points in between, there's, millions of different ways to do it. And so exploring different opportunities, having different, input and different ideas has been eye-opening. SWI will tell you that our greatest ideas have been stolen from others.
Mhm.
We might have tweaked it a little bit, but the basis of it comes from other places.
Love that. A lot of what we learned in the retreat, and even, the classroom setting of it, we learned a lot, but even just like the conversations that we had with similar, people that have done things similar to us that haven't worked, and kind of revamping it, going and pivoting a different direction to it. Like,
Yeah.
it gave us a new idea on how to tackle some of the problems that we were having in our business, and things that we were like, oh yeah, makes a lot of sense. Like, why that will save us a lot less stress
Yeah.
than continue doing it our own way. And our industry here in South Dakota, it's a little bit different. Like, we have around our area, we have two main bigger fence companies, and then there's been a lot of like smaller pop-up companies lately. And we have great relationships with the two bigger companies. We've utilized some of their material too, but I think a lot of like the knowledge base of the industry stays within the company. Like, it's not community. And I think that's what DJ and I really absolutely loved about this whole entire group is, it's a fence industry where people are coming together, and we've always wanted it to feel like our career because this is what we're doing for a living.
Yeah.
But have like-minded people that show the professionalism and that it's a career, I think is a pretty amazing thing.
So we kind of we run into that same thing in Wyoming. You know, we're remote, you know, we're kind of spread out. So everybody's like, yep, this is my chunk and this is my chunk. And, you know, you stay over there. But, you know, we're trying to even kind of break that stigma, even with contractors in our areas. You know, we have several contractors, especially in the Casper area, that come and buy, you know, materials from us, and, you know, we'll help them with their takeoff and put together all the materials and stuff. But then we also get a chance to talk to them about different ways to do installation or different tools that would help make things easier for them. Or, hey, I know you already bid this chain link job, but I see on here that you want straight ties instead of easy twist ties. Well, let me tell you, these easy twist ties and this tool are going to make your job so much more profitable. You know, yes, do you have to fork out this extra money now? Yes, but at the same time, we're going to save you so much money on labor than having your guys out there hand twist straight ties.
Right.
And so, like, we're all about starting to break that stigma of the shush shush.
Yeah.
And, you know, I know that one of the contractors in the area is part of FWA, and, you know, sees these videos and these conversations that I'm having. I know that Yadir's probably got some competitors that are in the Las Vegas area that are a part of it as well, but you just don't look at them as competitors.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you have to be confident in your organization and in your what you're providing as far as service and quality. And then you kind of don't worry about everybody else. Focus on your own. Focus on you, and focus on what you can provide in your organization and how to better that, and it will spread.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, we have some competitors in the area that Brian usually goes out to lunch with them every, you know, once a month or something, and they talk about crews and they talk about jobs and they talk about materials, and they are part of the FWA network for sure.
I mean, it's not, there's no big, huge, ginormous trade secret in this industry.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like everybody, I remember there was a time where it was like, oh, you can't talk about that. No, we can't talk about numbers. One, my numbers are not going to mean jack to the other person that's in this this industry, you know, that could be two doors down from me.
Yeah, exactly.
Know? But there's nothing. This is another reason why, you know, Mark is so big, and the YouTube videos that go out. You know, he shows Bob down the street how to do his own fence. Right. Instead of keeping it a secret and telling him, oh no, if you want a good fence, you have to come through SWI. No, he's telling him how to do it.
Yeah.
You know, and encouraging that. And so getting away from the stigma about the giant trade secrets.
Yeah. There is no giant trade secrets.
Our sanity, maybe, but that's about it.
That's it. Okay, so moving on then from the mission statement, I'll send that over to the email and stuff, and we can look it over and we can kind of decide, like we mentioned, Michaela can put together like a couple of different polls to see what works out best for us. From there, we have a sponsorship for our booth and happy hour and swag. What do we have for that, Susan? I just have it on my notes, but I don't have any additional.
We're still looking for sponsorship. So like if you have a really good relationship with a manufacturer or distributor out there, you know, start putting that bug in their ear, you know, get us an email address, you know, we can build the package, you know, we can just take a large fee. They're going to get lots of vision and, you know, marketing from us for the support, you know what I mean? But at the moment, yeah, we're still kind creaking along. Now, that being said, sponsorship is starting to be purchased. It was probably more of a timing thing, making sure it's in the right quarter and stuff like that. So I do expect us to start having some really good stuff happening soon. I have a pretty good deal where we're probably getting t-shirts, just waiting on the finalization of that. So it's just a matter of time, but just want to keep reminding everybody that, we're going to have a presence no matter what. Just, it's going to.
Sponsorship is open. We even open it up to if there's anybody that's interested in providing items to be given away at the booth. Even if, as long as you're a member of the Women of FWA, that kind of swag to go out. We can provide you with a label, you know what I mean, our logo. So if it's something that is able that you provide from your organization that we can put a logo on top of it, great. But there's so many different opportunities to help and support and sponsor the Women of FWA. It's not just, get your checkbook out and write a big fat check.
No.
It's
in combination with your organization. So it's advertising for your organization and it's advertising for the Women of FWA. So
right.
It just helps us keep our web pages open. It helps us to do these happy hours, be able to give away prizes. Like we have bigger visions, but we have to start somewhere. So, it helps us keep everything just going so that we can, keep supporting the industry.
Yeah. The last thing I have, guys,
James was in my office. I'm looking at that. I'm like, that's not right.
What happened? What did I miss?
She just got up and had to swap the W and the I.
James,
it was SIW.
James was behind me. I don't pay attention to him when he's behind me. He's like the only person that can walk behind me that I don't pay attention to. Well, apparently.
Oh my gosh. And the last thing I have on here is the fun run, which Heather is actually not on this meeting for the show. So we just wanted to make sure that we invite everybody to the show in September. September 11th, 12th, and 13th.
Yes.
So I guess more details to come on the fun run that she's going to be doing. And
we are also for, I think that's Tiffany, 208 number.
She's been trying to get it on.
I found a way to do it. It's just not my preferred way.
Right. We're glad you could join us. We are also looking for volunteers to help with the fence show for the Women of FWA that are attending in September to help with the booth. We're going to do some fundraiser stuff, and all of the money raised for that will go to a local fire department for 9/11. Is that what we?
Fireman's Fund, yeah.
The Fireman's Fund. That will actually be a donation from Women of FWA. I promise it's nothing crazy that we're asking you to do. It's more just like walk around, and whether if we do raffle tickets for that, or if it's just a matter of walking around and telling people to pull out cash out of their pocket and put it in the bucket, so we can make a sizable donation to them. So there's also like helping with the booth and helping, set up if you're in the area, and we're willing to work around your schedule. We understand that there's a lot of Women of FWA that actually will be there in attendance and have a booth at the show, and that you need to obviously be at your booth. So as we get closer, we will work on putting together a type of schedule for that. So if there's anybody that's interested in volunteering and helping, please reach out to any of us, and we will get your name down. Then as we get closer, again, we'll keep addressing these meetings and finalize that once we get closer. September will be here before we know it.
Yes.
So it's already the middle of May. And I don't know how to feel about it.
Agreed.
So before we started this live, just real quick, we had a quick conversation about the busy time of year kicking off, and how that's affecting everybody. We understand that you can't make the meetings. Not a big deal. Please do not stress about making the Women of FWA meetings. That's why we record them. This is why we post them. This is why we're active on all of our social media pages. Everybody, please just check your mental health, take a break, walk outside, get some sunshine. We are all busy running in 5 million different directions. And it is probably every contractor involved. It's nothing new. I told my girls actually this morning, just remember May and June seem to be the hardest. Just, if you need to get up and take a break and walk outside, please do so. If you need to have a mental health afternoon and leave a little bit early, please call me. Take that time, make sure that you're not running yourself ragged. You're not the only one. We're all in that position. We're all doing it. If you need to vent, please pick up the phone, call one of us, call somebody, post on the social media sites. Anybody else running into this issue? Does anybody else want to crawl under their desk and cry right now just because you're so
Sometimes.
One of my girls, I called her yesterday. I could tell we were chatting on Teams. I could just tell something wasn't right. And I called her. I said, "You all right?" She's like, "Yeah." And I'm like, "No, you're not. We're going to take 20 minutes. Let's have a conversation." Of course, she's like, "How did you know that?" By the end of it, we were laughing. We were, it was a good conversation. And then like a couple hours later, I get a message from her. She's like, "I've gotten more done since your phone call than I feel like I have all week." And I'm like, "You just need to take a minute." And so just please, all of the women out there, please be mindful of that and know when you just need to take a break.
Yep.
Love it.
Thank you for that. I don't have anything else, guys. I think we're done. We went through everything I had. Do you have anything else to add, Susan?
I don't, not unless anybody else has something.
No.
I do not.
So our meetings are going to stay at the same time next month, right?
I'm having Wi-Fi
Susan?
issues.
You are, huh? So I was asking if our meetings were going to stay at the same time for next month.
Probably. I'll probably forget that they're supposed to be on the first Thursday and it ended up being on the second Thursday. Yes.
Okay. But it is on the first Thursday of each month.
Yes. What does no mean?
It's supposed to be the second Thursday of the month.
Veronica, you are now officially in charge with scheduling in Google.
Leadership team meetings are the first Tuesday of every month. Women of FWA group meetings are the second Thursday of every month. I will make sure that I get into the Women of FWA calendar and get those invites sent out. I will make myself a note. And then I just need to make sure that we have an updated email list. So anybody watching this, if you would like a calendar invite, Michaela will still continue to post them on the social media. So you'll always be able to access our meetings through social media, through the links provided. But we will also, if you're interested in getting on the calendar invite, so it goes ding 30 minutes before the meeting to remind you. Please.
The best way to do that is to go to womenfwa.com and join. It's free.
And then we'll get you guys on that email list. And I will make myself a note to send out those calendar invites. We are not doing reoccurring calendar invites because that ended up to kind of be a mess. So you will get one calendar invite for each month. And they will come out probably at the end of the month for the following month.
Cool. Thank you guys. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you. Thank you. Tiffany, what's up?
Just also saying thanks before everyone disconnects.
Are you okay out there?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry I was late today. Working on that roof, which may end up being